Hello, my dear students. Welcome back to your S.St class again. So, we'll be continuing our chapter, which we have already started, discussed in our previous video. That's your chapter 4 of Geography, Agriculture. Today, we are almost in the middle of this chapter. We will be discussing the major crops that are being grown across the globe as well as in our country, India. We will be just studying in brief what are the climatic conditions suitable for those crops to be grown, which countries are the leading producer of those crops, and in India, whether that crop is being grown or not, and which states are more leading in that crop production. Okay, so let's start first of all with the name of those crops. Wheat and rice, of course, one of the major food crops around the globe. Maize and millets, the supporting diets in various countries. Jute and cotton, the fiber crops, okay, they are grown in India as well. Then tea and coffee, a part of a beverage crops. Okay, so let's start with rice, one of the major crops of entire world. The conditions required for rice to be grown are, the first condition is it requires a high temperature. Okay, and also it requires a very high humidity in the atmosphere to be grown, and it requires a rainfall, adequate amount of rainfall. Alluvial and clay soil are most perfect for growing rice. As far as the countries are concerned, India, Japan, Sri Lanka, and Egypt are the countries which are the leading producer of rice in the world. If we speak about Indian states, West Bengal is one of the state which grows two, three different type of crops in a year, in which rice is one of the major crop. Now coming to the second major crop of the world, that is wheat. Pretty common food crop, all of us know. Wheat requires moderate temperature and rainfall during its growing season. When the plants are growing up, they require a moderate temperature and rainfall. When they are into their harvesting season, the wheat plant require a bright sunshine. Okay, when they are ready to be harvested. The countries that grow wheat in surplus are USA, Canada, Argentina, Russia, Ukraine, Australia, and of course our country, India. In India, wheat is a winter crop. Mostly it is being grown in winter. Okay, so we will be continuing these other 4 to 6 remaining crops in the same video. Let's see about the other food crops. Okay, dear students, let's discuss about the other varieties. Millets we will be taking first. It is also called as a coarse grains. They can be easily grown in a less fertile soil, a sandy soil, a type of a sandy soil. It requires a low rainfall. Of course, if we have already mentioned sandy soil, so it requires a low rainfall. It requires high to moderate type of temperatures. Jowar, bajra, and ragi are the varieties of millets that are being grown in India. If we speak about other countries, Nigeria, China, and Niger are the countries which grow millets in surplus. Let's move to another crop, that is maize. Maize require moderate rainfall. It also requires lots of sunshine, and it needs a well-drained, fertile soil. Means well-drained means that is having a enough quantity of water in it. The countries which grow maize in surplus are North America, Brazil, China, Russia, Canada, of course India, our country, and Mexico. So this was about millets and maize. We will be discussing about our next fiber crop and beverages in the same video. Okay. Okay, dear students, let's continue with the other variety, the fiber crops, cotton and jute. Cotton, as you know, it's an important raw material for the textile industries. As far as the conditions required, for growing of a cotton plant. Let's go through the conditions that are required. It needs a high temperature and a very light rainfall. It requires 210 frost-free days. Now, what is this frost-free days? Frost-free days means in those days there shouldn't be a freezing cold. The weather shouldn't go too much down. The frost word we have seen, we are familiar with the one of the function that is being used in our domestic refrigerator, frost-free button, in which we don't allow ice to freeze. So that means in these 210 days, the temperature shouldn't go too much low. It shouldn't be too much cold weather. Okay. Black and alluvial soil are favorable for cotton plant to grow. See, dear students, as far as alluvial soil is concerned, alluvial soil is so much fertile, so much topmost variety of soil that you will find that in alluvial soil almost every type of crop can grow easily. Okay. Black is a special type of soil which usually supports the cotton cultivation. As far as the countries are concerned, the world countries, different countries in the world, let us see that which countries are the leading producer of cotton in the world. China, USA, India, Brazil, Pakistan, and Egypt. Okay, now moving to the next variety of fiber crops, that is jute. Jute is also called as golden fiber, and jute is being supported by alluvial soil as well. It requires a high temperature to grow, heavy rainfall, humid climatic condition, and the countries where jute grows in surplus are India and Bangladesh. Okay, now we are left out with two food beverages crop, that is tea and coffee, that we'll be discussing in the same video. Okay, my dear students, now we are almost in the last part of our topic, which we are going to cover in our video today. In this video, we were on to beverages type of crops, that is coffee. We'll be covering first. Coffee requires warm and wet type of climate to grow in a proper way. They need well drained loamy soil. Okay, they need well drained loamy soils. Coffee are grown best in hill slopes. They need a slanting condition, slanting slopes. Okay. Brazil is the largest coffee producer in the world. Of course, Brazilian coffee is famous worldwide. And the other countries, if we speak about Colombia and India, yes, of course, they are also among the leading producer of coffee after Brazil. Now coming to tea, one of a common winter beverage, and nowadays it's used almost round the year. Tea plantation requires cool climate, well distributed high rainfall. For the for the tender leaves of tea plant, they require a loamy soil, and they are better grown on gentle slopes, like we have discussed in the coffee. Same way, this condition is common for tea as well. They need gentle slopes, and tea plantation requires heavy labor because most of the work is done by manual way, through manual labor. You can't use so much of machinery, mechanized tools in this tea plantation. The countries that grow tea in surplus are Kenya, China, Sri Lanka, and of course our country India as well. So dear students, these were the some major crops that are being grown across the world. We have covered three different varieties. We have covered food crop, we have covered fiber crop, and two beverage type of crop. So we will be continuing this chapter ahead in our next video. Hope you would have understood everything. Thank you and have a nice day. That's it.